Hi.
Hi, I have a
Hi.
funny anecdote to
Oh, I
kick
love.
us off of someone commented on one of our reels. I thought my Bluetooth was connected and clicked play on where I left off in the pod, and my dead quiet office just heard Dana talk about a 2 foot long dildo and compare it to a Subway sandwich for visual clarity.
Nice.
Nice.
I love when that happens.
Well, they needed to know, so love that for you.
Yeah.
Welcome to Disrespectfully
with Katie Maloney
and Dana Cathan.
Unapologetically,
We're here to do what we want to do.
spilling the tea.
Babe, you're going to see the power of women. Like,
Disrespectfully.
hi.
Hello, everybody.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
How you doing?
Good. It's been a long, what do we say, a year?
You said this month has been a long year.
Oh, this month has been a long year.
But this week
has been a long year too. Truly. Truly.
Yeah, I'm dragging and like having, I don't know if it's, like truly like seasonal changes, whatever, but I am just like in bed and then feeling immense guilt about it. And then
I've been feeling real strong sense of lethargia.
is that clinically diagnosed lethargia?
Yeah.
There is no known cure.
Yeah. No, I wake up, I do a couple things, and then I sit down and I'm like, I'm really tired. I'm like overcome with tiredness. Like my eyes close.
I had to take out Ariana's DSW collab. It came in like this.
Yeah,
big
everybody
box.
got one of those.
No,
I'm feeling a little
okay,
left out.
I bet yours is coming because everyone got one, and I was like, oh, that's weird. And then mine came, and mine is like a week after everyone. So
you know what? I don't even want one anymore. I'm okay. I should have been the first. Just kidding.
It came in a ludicrously capacious bag. A ludicrously capacious box. I mean, the box
Ludicrously
is fucking
capacious
enormous.
box. That's why I maybe don't want it because I'm like, too much box.
Oh, and it was so cute, and I love what they sent. But it was like I had to drag it down to my recycle because there was no way I could break it in my little throw down the shoot room. So I took it down to the basement that was so scary and like has, I think, a growing rat population. And after that, I was just like, well, guys, I'm done for the day. It's been real. Put some lip balm on and got in bed. And also, I'm worried about Laszlo because she is so loyal to me that she like comes to nap when I'm napping. But I'm like, you sleep 26 hours out of the day. And I'm confused by that because cats do sleep a lot. But I'm like, do you need more exercise? She's very good at night. She sleeps throughout the night. She doesn't get up and do that like nocturnal party bull. But I'm like, you're literally sleeping constantly because I'm always laying. And when I'm laying, I'm awake on TikTok in my bed. You are PTFO'd. So I don't really know what to do about it. I'm like, perhaps we should be getting you some exercise, but
I don't
it's
know.
not looking good.
I started thinking like horrible thoughts
What do you mean?
about why I'm so tired.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to share any of your thoughts?
No, just like, what if it's cancer?
Yeah, I knew that was a thought. That's every time. Please. I sneeze wrong and I'm like, this is the big one.
It's not funny, but like that's what I think about because I'm just like, good Lord, like this isn't normal. I just slept for 8 hours. First of all, that's not normal either.
Yeah.
But why would I get nice sleep, wake up, do one thing?
One thing?
You know,
I get up and I do a one thing.
I water the plants, and then I get tired,
No, that's me.
and then I have a layer.
That's me. And I'm like, you should be solving the world's problem and doing more. And I just like,
But then there's some days where I could conquer the world, and I do, and I'm like busy. I like have a little workout. I have a little snack. I go and run some errands, and then I go see some friends, and I'm doing like the fucking most. And then there's some days where I like literally lift a finger, and I'm like, too much.
true. There's really no in between for me, but a Pilates studio hasn't seen much of me lately. You know who has? Chili's. I went to a lunch the other day with Christina.
Did you get the mozzarella sticks?
No, I
Why?
almost did the triple dipper because I decided to do, I've never done the classic tray with the ribs. I had my first baby back rib, a la Michael Scott. I want some baby back, baby back, baby back. That
One
bullshit.
more baby back.
It was so delicious.
Did it fall off the bone?
It fell off the bone. It was so good. Their garlic cheesy toast was great. I asked them not to give me fries because it comes on the tray and all this slop with like a street corn. And I was like, oh, I just don't need them. I don't want to like waste any food. And they gave me extra fries. And I was like, I'm not going to even consider touching these. And then Christina's unbelievably gorgeous baby. She's the cutest, smartest, sweetest little girl. I think she's like 2.5 now. I was looking down at one point and she had Christina's phone and she just chucked it across the table. And I had just finished my Diet Coke, which by the way, they brought it to me in a
mug.
stein. Okay. It was like, I'm like, where are the lederhosen at? Because this is an ungodly amount of pop. But do you know what? I slurped that first one down and got a second. So I just finished my second gallon of pop, and I didn't even see it because I was looking down, but I heard it and it hit the cup and the ice went everywhere and I like slid. Not a scratch on me, no liquid, no nothing. So it was totally
The
fine.
agility that you have.
Truly, I'm like the Spidey senses. Maybe I'm just more powerful into Chili's.
Do you know? Yeah, honestly. Do you know what we call those things?
The
Like in the-
Steins.
Yeah, like in the movie theater when you get the two-handers. Bladder busters.
Well, and you know I have the world's tiniest bladder, so I didn't.
Teeny
I
tiny
got up to
bladder.
pee twice. I was like, this is crazy.
Crazy. I need to go to Chili's because they have those mozzarella sticks. You know, but they're like the Chipotle ones or whatever.
The Nashville honey hot honey.
Yeah,
Nashville.
and
have
they
you ever
do
had
a
the regular
stretch.
logs? Have those been around? Those rectangles? Those
I don't know.
bricks?
My mouth is watering though.
I just fucking love Chili's. I hadn't been in so long.
I
I
do
kind of felt like I was
too.
cheating on you, but she wanted Olive Garden, but I was like, I just had Olive Garden 3 nights ago, so I could, but let's do Chili's. So we went to Chili's, and yeah, it just does not disappoint. Their chips and salsa are always so good. And then
chips
she
and
got the white
salsa.
queso, whatever, delicious.
Yeah, the chips and salsa alone, I'd make a whole meal out of that.
Yeah.
Whole meal. I gotta go there.
Anyway, I was at a 2 this morning when I woke up, like energy level wise, and I just really wanted to stay in bed, but was like, you know what? We need to go hear some stories, some hometowns. We need to help
hometown.
solve these
We gotta solve
problems as we can.
problems. We gotta hear people's stories, so that's what we're gonna do today.
So why don't you pull up a chair at your local Chili's, get your triple dipper, and let's get into some hometown heroes.
Get a stein of Diet Coke. Let's do it. Bex with 2 X's says, ladies, writing from Perth, Australia. I love listening to you girls. I've been meaning to flick you something for a while now and then keep getting busy. Well, thank you for flicking us.
Well, no one's flicking anything of mine, so that feels nice. Love.
Okay. Anywho, back when I was around 20 and living in New Zealand, I lived in a haunted house. Yeah. I have many stories. Do we have 2 haunted stories in this today?
We might.
Do we both pick a ghost story?
Because I picked this one, so you might have picked another one. Okay,
That's
good.
good news. Okay.
We love ghost stories.
Yeah. I have many stories of crazy happening, lights flickering, fridge door opening, creaky floorboards, shadows, etc. The one that stands out as the scariest though was when I woke up in the middle of the night, my entire body frozen. Think light as a feather, stiff as a board from the movies. My hands crossed over my chest and my entire body hovering above my bed. Sounds like me taking a nap.
That's you on the couch. That's what I thought of.
I couldn't talk. My mouth was closed shut and I couldn't move. However, I could move my eyes and saw this creepy mother with shoulder length, greasy black hair, black eyes, very pale face. No fucking thank you. Legit the Crow look. Dressed in some 1800s getup, standing to the side of my bed staring at me.
His little pantaloons on.
Holy fuck. It only lasted maybe a minute. A minute is a long time.
A minute when you're levitating and paralyzed and can't speak
Is
I
an
would say,
eternity.
That's a year in normal time.
5 seconds would be plenty of time. Oh my God. I thought I was going to die as I couldn't breathe. And then I was out cold. When I woke up in the morning, I knew that he was sending me a message as I recently delved in the woo-woo space and felt a presence in the corner of my room. I dreamt for several nights following about him, though I instead was watching him in the same scenario and knew that he was showing me this is how he had died, buried alive for being a witch. I still think to this day he's actually buried somewhere on the property. The entire situation freaked me the fuck out. I got some witchy friends together and had a cleanse done on my room and the nightmare stopped, so I figured everything is okay. I put a mental brick wall to keep out the unwanted visitors and left it there. Fast forward 10 years, I'm living in Australia, and after backing off from a bit, I had stepped back into the woo-woo space and connected with some like-minded ladies who said they felt I had a block. I ended up going to a healer who did this crystal healing on me where I ended up bawling my eyes out. And after the session, she pulled out a whole lot of crystals and was asking me to pick them up in my hands. When I got to a huge black tourmaline, I couldn't touch it. And just looking at it made me feel so ill. And she said, that is the guy that I removed from here, pointing to my lady parts. What? He has been He has been attached there for quite some time and described the same fucker who was standing next to my bed 10 years earlier. Crazy situation as I had never mentioned him to anyone in Australia. Turns out the dude had been attached to my cervix and ovaries or whatever. I was very sexually active at the time and he wanted to f with me.
I'm like, the last time someone's been attached to my cervix or ovaries is when I had an IUD. And it has been years and years and years, but I know that feeling. I really do.
There was a huge weight lifted off me that day. I found connection significantly easier and felt way lighter and more positive. I found love. I've had a couple of kids who both see spirits themselves, and I've been happy ever since. I just want to share with some like-mindeds who will know I'm not a Fruit Loop. Keep doing you.
I don't think you're a Fruit Loop at all.
I'm just like, if someone's like, that's the man I removed from there, I'd be like, pardon?
Just want to roll him up in a little ball and stick him in my vagina.
Yeah, but
I'm yuck.
So wait, she said that she was, turns out the dude had been attached as I was very sexually active at the time and he wanted to fuck with me. How does one attach to? I'm just curious. How does that work?
I don't know, but I think crazier things have happened. But why am I picturing like Trent Reznor when she's like describing this person from the 90s?
I don't know.
Doesn't sound like he was super hot or she was
Why am
really
I
into
picturing
it.
that guy from Harry Potter? I don't know. What's his name?
Snape?
Snape. Fuck, I can't talk. Wait, real quick. Side note. Have you seen the Weasley twins and what they look like now? I cannot get over this. I cannot get over this.
The Weasley twins,
Yeah.
Fred and
The-
George.
Yeah,
No.
the older ones now, what they fucking look like. First of all, there was like this like new Harry Potter baking thing or whatever, and hosted by them. And at first I didn't realize it was them. And I saw that I was like, who are these old dudes? Dude, no, they're my age. Actually, I'm like a month older than them. They don't look that good.
Whoa.
Are you right?
Jeez.
Yeah.
Shit.
Right? Are you shocked? They look like they're like 50, right?
I don't know if I'm looking at the right photo. 'cause
Jamie
this
and
doesn't look-
Oliver.
This doesn't look that crazy to me. This?
Yeah. Well,
They look completely normal to me. Or like what
They just
age?
look tired.
Maybe you saw a different photo, or maybe the videos, or maybe this is yassified. I don't know. I feel like
I
I'd
don't-
be more likely to sleep with them in this state than who they were in Harry Potter. But
I don't know. The one of that. You-
okay, that's a different photo.
Yeah, dude. No, not so good.
I'm not sure what that has to do with this levitating
Okay,
cervix bandit, but
We were talking about Harry Potter came up anyways. I just it's like that's something I've just been thinking about nonstop. How just some people just age.
I mean,
accelerated rates.
I continue to be amazed by different people on TikTok that are like, I'm 24. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Anywho, you're not a Fruit Loop. We love
You're
it.
not a Fruit
Thanks
Loop.
for writing in.
I'm really happy about your cervix. And
From Down Under.
those are messy.
She's having a cheese peanut butter cracker, which I'm glad you're enjoying them.
I'm glad you brought them in. I'm
Um,
hungry.
They're a suspicious looking brand, but
Save that for you.
they taste. Thank you. I appreciate you. You're so generous.
I'm so glad that the weather has cooled down because I get to wear my Jenny Kane cashmere Jackie sweater like you.
Like this?
Yeah.
Like this?
Like
Jenny
this?
Kane cashmere sweater?
Yeah.
This was a total quinky dink. I just love Jenny Kane so much.
Yeah, because it's so soft and cozy, and it also just like elevates any outfit. You're wearing it with like the little satin number underneath. I love it, and it's versatile, so you could do it with the skirt, with jeans, with trousers, if you will. I love it. I usually do it with like pants, but you know, sometimes I like the skirt. Maybe we'll try it next time.
I mean,
You have
I
it.
almost came in today looking like Rocky in a full gray sweatsuit because I was
like me last week.
like you last week. I was tired. I was over it. And then I was like, why don't you just try and look like a person today? And then I was like, nay, a hot, cool person with elevated style. Grab my Jenny Kane.
Mm.
But also, speaking of skirts, can we talk about the Jenny Kane pleated skirt I wore last night to dinner? I'm obsessed with it. I've worn it like 4 days in a row at this point. Don't talk to me about laundry. It's fine. Looks great still.
I love it. I'm an outfit repeater. It's fine.
Oh, I'm a serial outfit repeater. I
My
don't care.
favorite thing to do is to go on their site and click Jenny's Edit. And honestly, she's never steered me wrong.
Not once.
No.
Not once. And the thing is, the holiday season is here, you guys. I don't know if you're aware. It means we're focused on all things festive. Katie's house is like Santa exploded, and then there's gifting. And Jenny Kane is our go-to destination for the very best of the season. With their iconic gift-giving guide, Jenny Kane makes it effortless to check everyone off your list, yourself included, which you know is my favorite one.
Oh, yeah. Everything Jenny Kane makes is pure luxury, from their cashmere knits and essential outerwear to their homeware pieces like their obsession-worthy candles. I love a candle. There's no better place to get into the seasonal spirit than at Jenny Kane.
For the rest of November, enjoy 25% off everything, home included, during Jenny Kane's biggest sale of the year. This is the moment everyone's been waiting for. I know I have, and I just can't wait to get all of my shopping done. For a very limited time, go to jennykane.com and use code disrespectfully15 and get 25% off.
The Jenny Kane Black Friday event starts November 16th and lasts through the end of November. They're offering 25% off everything, both in-store and online. It's the best discount you'll get.
Nobody does the holidays quite like Jenny Kane. They're known for their luxe sweaters, essential candles, and cozy throws, all of which make the perfect gifts.
And we cannot forget about their home essentials like giftable candles. Every scent is utter perfection and on sale. Their holiday gift guide just dropped, which makes gifting a total breeze. Shop Jenny's Edit, favorites under $250, and plenty of other gift-giving categories.
Have you ever once gotten a candle in your life and been like, I wish this was toothpaste? It's just such a, every time you're so happy
Oh my
to
God,
see it.
no. I love getting candles.
Plus, they have an incredible rewards program where you can earn up to 10% back with every purchase, and joining is completely free. So like girl math, it's basically everything's free.
I love girl math. Gift yourself and your loved ones the best gift of all, Jenny Kane. From now through the end of November, our listeners get 25% off your first order when you use code disrespectfully15 at jennykane.com.
That's 25% off your first order for the rest of November when you use code disrespectfully15 at JENNIKAYNE.com. Let getting dressed be one less thing to worry about.
So I finally swapped out my toxic kitchenware and appliances for Our Place's non-toxic, healthy, sustainable cookware and appliances, and I'm so glad that I did.
I did too, not to copy you. People are going to be like, Dana's just trying to be Katie again. I did the same thing. I've noticed a huge difference. First and most importantly, Our Place cookware is beautifully designed. It's real Gorgina. It's so gorgeous. I just leave it out on my countertop because I want people to look at it and be like, okay, Martha Stewart.
Okay, Rich.
Okay, Lux. Which is great because I realized having millions of appliances shoved into random drawers was preventing me from cooking. I mean, sometimes you just open one and it's like,
Yeah.
Mount Everest. With Our Place, I leave it out because it's basically decor and the easy access makes it way more convenient. So I actually cook.
Also, did you know that most cookware and appliances are made with forever chemicals?
I glow in the dark, Katie. Yes, of course. We've been over this.
Most of today's nonstick pans contain PFAS, also known as forever chemicals, which are yuck, which are under increasing global scrutiny for their impact on the environment and our health. Recognizing their impact, the EU plans to prohibit PFAS by 2025.
Our Place is mission-driven and female-founded. Slay. And has always been PFAS-free and offers the most durable, toxic-free ceramic coatings, ensuring a healthy, safe cooking experience.
In addition to cookware, PFAS are also frequently used in appliances, especially air fryers, pressure cookers, crock pots, and even the rim of blenders. No more rimming your blender. Sorry.
No more midnight margaritas where I just drink it right out of there.
No. That's why Our Place came out with non-toxic appliances that are changing the game.
Find out why Our Place has 75,000 five-star reviews on their award-winning products, and they've been mentioned in the New York Times, Bon Appetit, and more.
That's why you see Our Place in everyone's kitchen, from Miss Selena Gomez to David Beckham. Hello. And now Katie Maloney and Dana Keithan.
It's just one more thing me and Bex have in common.
Yeah.
And we're basically the same person.
Just me and my friends.
Upgrade to Our Place today and say goodbye to forever chemicals in your kitchen.
Go to FromOurPlace.com, enter our code disrespectfully at checkout to receive 10% off site-wide. That's FromOurPlace.com, code disrespectfully.
Our Place offers a 100-day free trial with free shipping and returns.
You know what? Personally, I feel like the best kind of gift is a sentimental gift that shows you really love the person.
That's why this holiday season, we wanted to find a gift that would make our loved ones feel special and unique. That's why we're giving them Storyworth.
Here's how it works. And I did this with my mom last year, so we loved it. Each week, Storyworth emails your loved one a thought-provoking question that you get to help pick. So you can always change up the question if you don't really like it. Things like, what's the bravest thing you've ever done? What's the farthest you've traveled? How did you used to get to school every day? I mean, the questions are really endless. And
Your mom gets in the wagon and just no, I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
Terry, we love you.
And Storyworth makes the writing process a breeze. And all your loved one needs to do is just respond to that email with a story. It could be long or short, and they can also like include photos with it. So it's just they get to tell their story. Really sweet.
Super sweet. You'll be emailed a copy of your loved one's response as they're submitted over the course of a year. After that year of fun, Storyworth compiles your loved one's stories and photos into a beautiful keepsake hardcover book that you'll be able to share and revisit for generations to come. It really is a great idea.
I know. It's really sweet. And then you can order more than one so you can have one for yourself as well.
I am so sentimental. If someone writes me a nice note on like a dirty Kleenex, I keep it. So I think this is more sanitary and super fun and just like lovely. It's a great concept.
Doing it with different people in your life, you're going to get different stories. And I think that's kind of special and unique too.
Well, and I feel like the grown-ups used to do scrapbooking type things and we all had these books and whatever. And then for the next generation, we're just like, whatever.
Imagine
go on TikTok. I don't know what to tell you.
You could get real funny with it too. Instead, like give it to your friend and all the questions are geared towards about you.
Mm-hmm. Love.
What do you love most about me?
What are my best attributes? Families will love Storyworth. That's why it has more than 35,000 5-star reviews on Trustpilot with millions of stories preserved since they were founded over 10 years ago. So they've been around.
They have been. With Storyworth, I'm giving those I love most a thoughtful, personal gift from the heart and preserving their memories and stories for years to come.
Go to storyworth.com/disrespectfully and save $10 off your first purchase. That's storyworth.com/disrespectfully to save $10 off on your first purchase. Attention, disrespectfully listeners. I'm just making sure you're listening. Hi, disrespectfully listeners. We haven't done this in a while, but here is your reminder to clean your butts.
Wash your assholes.
Which is surprising because we love to talk about a poop story. The best way to clean your tush is with a tushy bidet.
Yes, Tushy Bidet is literally the best gift you can get somebody you love. I know it sounds weird, but it's true. It's a home upgrade that you can enjoy all year, every day. Think about it.
You could go to Europe, you could get them a Euro trip, or you could get them a tushy. Just give them the experience at home. We associate self-care with bubble baths, but what if you need a quick 20-second blast of feel good during an intense holiday with the in-laws? Yeah. Tushy bidets instantly elevate your daily wellness and upgrade your bathroom whenever you need a minute or just 20 seconds to yourself.
Ooh.
Right up the butt. I love my Tushy bidet, to be totally honest. The installation was super simple, even for me. I'm not, like home improvement, but it's so cute and sleek. It actually elevates the look of my bathroom. Laszlo tried to use it yesterday. It was like the craziest things. I'm like, I didn't even know you could do that. I don't know.
You have opposable thumbs.
You don't have opposable thumbs. She figured it out. I don't know about you, but I just never fully feel clean using toilet paper. But with the Tushy bidet, I leave the bathroom feeling like I'm so well cleaned.
No, but truly, imagine like if you got doo-doo on your on your hand, would you just take a dry cloth and wipe it away and be like, that's good?
No. And also, obviously, hot girls have IBS, so it's just like real game changer.
Now that I have a Tushy bidet, I don't know how I ever lived without it, truly.
I can just tell the days you've used it. You come in, you're glowing, and I'm like, that's what it is. It's the Tushy bidet. Right now, Tushy bidet is dropping deep discounts on bidet life essentials that'll transform your bathroom habits and booty for life. Now that it's time to get back from boring gifts and dirty habits to save on luxury lifestyle upgrade that you'll use every day.
If you've been waiting to upgrade your bathroom or grab the perfect gift for anyone on your list, now is the time. Visit hellotushy.com to see this week's savings on bidets, bundles, and instant bathroom upgrades.
The Tushy bidet easily attaches to your existing toilet without the need for additional plumbing or electricity or getting another toilet. Don't worry. Washing with precise stream of fresh water removes 99% of bacteria compared to wiping with toilet paper. Yuck.
Installation is simple and takes about 10 minutes to complete. Literally anyone can do it, even Laszlo. It's also easy to use. Sit down, do your business, then turn the knob for a refreshing stream of clean water straight to your bunghole. Once you're done, simply pat dry with toilet paper. And people have made the switch to Tushy use up to 80% less TP. Think about it.
Imagine.
Sometimes it's like wiping with a marker. It's crazy.
Truly.
No more clogged toilets. Save your money and your ass at the same time.
Every Hello Tushy bidet comes with a 30-day hassle-free, hassle-assle return and 12-month warranty.
Give the gift of practical luxury that benefits everyone in your household. Go to hellotushy.com/disrespectfully now to grab your deal before it's gone. Don't forget to shout out while you're there and let them know we sent you.
Go to hellotushy.com/disrespectfully for the best gift this holiday season.
Let's talk about nicotine.
My favorite subject.
Oh God. So many nicotine users are still out there smoking cigarettes and vaping, which means inhaling some very questionable chemicals into their lungs.
Now there's a better way to get your fix. Zippix nicotine-infused toothpicks. Zippix are discreet, taste great, and you can use them literally anywhere.
Yeah. Unlike the other alternatives.
Not having to vape in your sweatshirt like an absolute animal.
Zippix are perfect for flights, restaurants, and anywhere else that smoking and vaping are banned. No one will have any idea that you're getting your little nicotine fix on.
They come in 6 great long-lasting flavors, plus they have 2 milligram and 3 milligram strength options to help curb those cravings.
If you're like us and don't use nicotine most of the time, no worries. Zippix has nicotine-free Zip Energy caffeine and B12 infused toothpicks as well to give you a quick and great tasting boost of energy.
Well, honestly, it's okay if you relapse if you're quitting nicotine. A novel by me. I'm going to switch over to the caffeine though. I feel good about it.
Yeah.
Zippix have already helped tens of thousands of customers get their nicotine fix without needing to inhale smoke or vape oils. So what exactly are you waiting for? Ditch the cigarettes, ditch the vapes, and get some nicotine-infused toothpicks at zippixtoothpicks.com today.
Get 10% off your first order by using the code disrespectfully at zippixtoothpicks.com. Zip more, smoke less with Zippix.
Must be 21 or older to purchase. Warning, nicotine is an addictive chemical. Hey ladies, love you both. Thank you for your honest takes and hilarious commentary. Disrespectfully has quickly become one of the highlights of my week. I've heard too many stories here recently about sexcapades ending with broken dicks, so I needed to share my own admittedly traumatizing version of a sex-induced injury. My sophomore year of college, me and 2 of my girlfriends, we'll call them Lucy and Abby, decided to have a wholesome spring break and stay at Lucy's parents' house in Southern California. One night we were hanging out with Lucy's friends from high school, and after a few stolen tequila shots, ended up on a docked yacht owned by one of Lucy's friends' parents. We'll call him Tim. Me and Tim immediately hit it off, and after many more tequila shots, ended up having sex all over his parents' yacht. The cockpit, pun intended, in the bathroom, below deck, and eventually he takes me back to his parents' house, who I think were out of town, so we could continue to hook up. I love this for you. Now, I'm a petite girl and I was 19 at the time. I can only take so much dick, and this boy was well above average in the size department. Not the girth master to my knowledge. Every time I think of him, there's just a little glimmer in my eye. When I woke up the next day, I was sore and dizzy, but assumed it was just dehydration from the tequila and the 19-year-old jackhammer sex. Tim drove me back to Lucy's parents' house, and we all pretended I didn't just spend the night at a boy's house when I was supposed to be staying with Lucy and her parents. The whole day, I had the worst cramping in my uterus and stomach and had a feeling something was not right. I decided to suck it up, as all women do all the time, and take Advil pretending everything was fine. We ended up back at Tim's house that night, and while my stomach felt like it was about to explode, I decided tequila shots would help numb the pain. The next thing I know, I'm being carried to the car by Lucy's dad after waking the entire family up at 4 a.m. from screaming bloody murder. We got to the hospital, God bless Lucy's parents, and the doctors immediately pumped me up with morphine to calm me down and ease the pain. Turns out I had a liter of blood in my abdomen and was internally bleeding from a tear in my vagina. I was immediately rushed into emergency surgery because internal bleeding is quite bad. My vagina had torn during the jackhammer sex and was bleeding into my abdomen for an entire day. And this is when I discovered I have incredibly high pain tolerance. Thankfully, everything went smoothly in my surgery and my vagina works good as new. Needless to say, Tim and I were not physically compatible and nothing ever came of this traumatic spring break fling. Anyways, I hope the story is a cautionary tale about how sometimes bigger isn't always better.
Oh, bigger is not better ever.
Don't.
No, it's just not. Because, like, I mean, it's, first of all, I don't want to say ever, but I mean, like, guys think that, like, if they have a huge penis, it's like, yeah, it's a winner. It's like, not particularly.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said for too big.
Just give us a
Would rather
nice
take my chances with that, honestly.
average size peen will
You
do
love
great.
an average size dick.
I love an average
You
dick.
do. You're a big proponent of average
I
size dick.
love average dick.
Okay, the thing is though, what haunts me about this is the way that women, we are told to minimize our own pain and everyone around us minimizes their own pain. And this made me think of a friend who recently was telling me she was having a bunch of sex and said, she was like, my organs hurt. Like, I feel like my shit got rearranged, and we were kind of laughing about it. But I was like, do you have internal bleeding? Now, after I read this story, I was like, that is so crazy. I'm really glad that you ended up going to the hospital, but I didn't even know that that was actually possible.
I don't know if that's possible either.
Well, and the thing is, when it comes to penis sex in a vagine, sometimes it's too much in terms of the amount of times. Like she's 19, so that makes sense to me. But like, you don't need to have sex 5 times in a day. Or I'd say that's the hard limit. That's
Also,
probably my limit.
when
Would be
she's
5 times a
describing,
day.
like,
But like,
jackhammering, it sounds like he was railing the shit out of her.
yeah, I can just see him being like, I'm the king of the world.
And also, like, lube is your friend. So, like, if he's doing that, if she was probably like,
that's true for anal as it is any orifice.
I
But
mean,
like
if-
literally, if sometimes when you're having sex over and over and over, even the wettest rivers dry up. Like it's okay to, you know, get some
don't
nice
don't
natural
just like
KY on there or whatever.
bite your lips and bear it. Like, don't put up with
Mm-mm.
it because that's
Don't
what I mean.
tear
If we're-
things. That's a recipe for tearing your butthole or your vagina. We don't want either of those things.
Hell
but
no.
anyway, great story. You're a survivor.
Jesus, cautionary tale indeed. Thank you.
I'm having the worst deja vu right now of you telling me lube it up because of this cautionary tale. That's so weird. Have we talked about this before on the show?
I don't know if it's on the show, but we possibly talked about this
In our life? Yeah. Okay.
probably sometime when it came to like anal or something. Anyways,
Mhm.
anyway.
Mhm.
Okay. Riri says, "Hey, Katie and Dana, day one listener. I love listening to you both as I work or while play video games. While I have plenty of ghost stories, I want to share one of my poop stories.
We've gone 2 weeks without a poop story.
This is a good one. I'm 29 now. When I was 13, a bunch of us went to one of our friends' house for sleepover for their birthday. Unfortunately, I started my period the day of the sleepover, so I had to be aware of that the whole time. Big thumbs down. Ugh, obviously. Especially when you're that young, like, boo.
Boo. And also, why is it that God is like, you know what? You are going to bleed out of your vagina and it's going to hurt really bad. And also, let's give you diarrhea while we're at it. Like, what did I do to deserve this?
Yeah. Women, you know. Okay. We had a blast and ate a bunch of junk food as teenagers do, but the body's biggest food critic, the colon, was not a fan of the snack choices I made that night.
That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. The body's biggest food critic, the colon. Mine's like always like 2 thumbs down. Every single fucking thing I want to eat. That is so funny.
Oh, it's like, why can't you like Taco Bell, man?
Truly. Get on my team.
Great. You and the taste buds need to have a talk.
You're disgusting. I love it.
Okay. The next morning around 7:30, I woke up with the worst stomach cramps. Everyone was asleep, so I thought I'd be able to shit my life away without anyone knowing. That was not the case. I used our downstairs bathroom near where we were all sleeping. I finished up my business and attempt to flush the toilet, but no luck. I feel the fear wash over me, and I frantically looked for a plunger that was nowhere to be found. Has this ever happened to you?
100%. But also 13-year-olds are vicious little fucking piranhas. I would rather literally do this in front of like someone I was sleeping with than a group of 13-year-olds. They're so mean.
Oh my God.
Has this ever happened to you?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
This is happening. This is a universal experience. This has happened to everyone.
Yeah. And then with the no plunger thing, you're like, okay. I flushed twice. And at this point, the water was just.
You're making it worse. Oh, no. Rookie move.
The water is just kissing the top of the toilet bowl, almost about to spill over. To make things worse, this bathroom, for whatever reason, was fully carpeted.
Why do they carpet bathrooms? That's so
Who
nasty.
fucking knows? The 90s, that was a thing.
Oh my God. No.
Oh, God. As it was still early in the morning, I snuck upstairs to grab a plunger from a different bathroom, hoping no one would wake up. The plunger would not unclog the toilet. I freaked out and attempted to clean off the plunger in the sink. There was no shower or bath. I know, gross, LOL, but I was freaking out and I didn't know what else to do.
This poor child. God.
I'm sweating. Soon enough, everyone started to wake up, including. I wonder how long. Like, I want to see this in a movie.
The timestamp? What time is it now? It's like 9:45 in the morning.
Yeah.
Been at it for hours.
Oh, God. Including my friend's parents who had to come and help unclog the toilet. All my friends and my friend's parents were huddled around the bathroom door to see what happened. My friend whose house we were staying at yelled, "You're not supposed to shit in this bathroom." Okay, well, clearly we know that by now. It was a toilet that needed to be replaced, so only peeing was allowed. Can we put a note?
You need to make that so clear. If I'm ever near a toilet of yours, I need to know for sure, expeditiously.
Only
Do not
pee,
shit in this
no toilet paper. Like
if
hello?
it's tour bus rules, you gotta let people know. What am I supposed to do? Assume?
100%. Okay. I was mortified. We're not given that memo beforehand. Yeah, that would have been
Innocent
helpful.
victim. You're a victim.
When we got back to school that Monday, my friend whose house we slept over that night ran up to my boyfriend at the time and told him the whole story. Again, mortified. You should have literally slapped the shit out of her. Thankfully, he had my back and my ass and told her to shut the fuck up because that's shit's not funny. We all get the dumps from time to time.
I hope you married this man.
It was so good. I laughed my ass off while she stormed away to fuss. I can laugh at it now. I've had plenty of period poops since then, but in that moment, it was the worst day of my life. LOL, cheers to never shitting in a carpeted bathroom again. Seriously though, a carpeted bathroom? What the fuck? Thank you again for bearing through this one. Haha, I just had to share. Love you girlies. Keep doing the thing. Loves and hugs, Riri. Oh God, that was such a good one.
Well, now we have to just sit in the wake of that horror show. I'm so sorry that happened to you. I thought my throw ups because I didn't ever like successfully complete a sleepover until I was like 15 because I just missed my mom. So I would throw up. And so it literally happened every fucking time.
I know. I would like be so excited about having so much fun with my friends. Like I wouldn't want to leave. Then the night would come and everyone would be asleep and I'd wake up and I would be crying and then I would like make their parents drive
it was
me
like,
home.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. No, I would throw up every fucking time and my mom would just come get me and like laugh and I'd be like, I'm going to do it next time. And she'd be like, okay, whatever. But this is worse. This is some Pen 15 shit. Literally.
Oh, literally, yeah.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
let's see if we can go in a different direction of your body's biggest critic, your colon. Melissa says, hello, queens. Katie, Dana, and Disrespectfully staff. That's you.
Hi.
I've been a listener since day one, and you are genuinely my favorite podcast. I meant to send this a couple weeks ago when you initially asked listeners to send in their personal spooky stories for Halloween, but alas, very on brand for myself, I am sending this days after Halloween is over. It was such a terrifying experience, I wanted to send it anyway in case you found it interesting. Of course we think it's interesting. Year round, you can send creepy stories, please. Especially knowing how tapped into the spiritual world Dana is. I made it as short as possible. End of August 2011, I was sitting on the second story deck of my apartment one night alone around 10 p.m. My fiance was inside our apartment watching TV. I was sitting in a lounge chair on my laptop. I took an Ambien pill, lit a cigarette.
Girl, yeah.
You can come over any old time, let me tell you. And logged into my school email to check it one last time before I went to bed for the night, as I had just started nursing school. With the cigarette still lit, something caught my attention out of my peripheral. I looked to my left and was immediately horrified. There stood a man, probably 5'10", with a flannel long sleeve button-down shirt, dark pants, and a top hat. His face was demonic. He looked as if Freddy Krueger and the Jeepers Creepers guy had a baby. The deck was pretty long, about 25 feet if I had to guess, and I was in the chair to the far right corner of the deck. Immediately right of the door where the deck access was off to our living room. This man started walking toward me in such a purposeful, intentional, aggressive way. I don't know how else to explain it other than he was walking toward me with purpose and he did not look friendly. I know exactly what you're talking about. Can't you like picture this exactly?
Yeah, he gonna
know
get
when
you.
they're when it ain't good. You can tell when it's fucking Casper and whatever this is. I threw my cigarette and laptop and ran into the apartment, yelling for my fiance, saying there was someone on the deck. Ran out onto the deck, but no one was there. It was an old apartment and the fire escape was rusted closed, so there was literally no way he could have accessed the second story deck from the yard. He then went downstairs with a flashlight and walked around the entire house looking for anyone or any sign of someone had attempted to break in. Nothing. He came back in and told me that the Ambien must have already kicked in, and to be fair, that was one of my first thoughts. I was like, was this an Ambien-based thing? We just don't know. And maybe it was time to go to bed. In the past, if I take my sleep medication and stay awake too long, I have hallucinated before, but my cigarette was still lit, which means I had only taken the medication minutes before. Wow, you are like a fucking Marble Man detective.
Yeah, I mean,
That's so
it
smart.
makes sense.
And there's no way that it had already kicked in that fast. I went to bed that night and forgot about it soon after. Fast forward 10 years later, I'm working overnight in the emergency room. It was a slow night, so my LNA and the security guard and I started sharing scary stories and ghost encounters. For the first time ever, I shared my story. The security guard said, "Oh my God, you saw the Hat Man." I had never heard of the Hat Man ever and immediately Googled it, and he insisted it's a worldwide phenomenon. You ever heard of this?
No.
Yes. People that like to take a lot of Benadryl see the Hat Man.
Oh.
But why is it like a thing? Okay, anyways, continue.
Okay, yeah, I've never heard of this. I was shook after Googling the Hat Man. Most of the encounters I've read about describe him as a black shadow person with a top hat. The man I saw had very distinct features, and I can still see in my head this day and will never forget. I've never seen him again, and I pray I never do. If you read this to the end, thank you. Love you, bye. Googling that immediately. Please hold.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like something that people do that take like Benadryl or something like that, like, but why would they all see the same? Like, that's a weird side effect. Mention side effect. Might see the Hat Man.
Literally.
Hat Man.
Okay, so Google says the Hat Man is a shadowy figure that some people see in their bedrooms when they're falling asleep or waking up. The Hat Man is often described as a tall, dark silhouette of a man wearing a hat and dark coat. Let's see images. All of these that I'm seeing are just of, oh no.
What?
Don't love that.
I don't need to see that.
Yeah.
Hate it.
Hate that. Don't want to look at that ever again. So here's the
Hate
thing.
it.
So I used to take Ambien, and I've had to take, I mean, we have sleeping problems. I don't take any sleeping medication because unfortunately they don't work for me, or I would take them. But Ambien, I will say, is very fast acting. You're supposed to take it as you're sitting in bed, whereas trazodone and other sleeping medications, they take longer. So like you can still be, my psychiatrist was like, don't take this and then do your like nighttime routine. Just do it like right before you go to bed. But that doesn't negate from the fact that I believe this happened to you. And maybe the Hat Man for some reason likes sleeping pills or Benadryl and to like fuck with people. And it sounds like people see this figure also not on medication, just in the like twilight of it all, of like waking up or falling
Yeah.
asleep. So for some reason he's horny for sleep.
I hope I never see the Hat Man.
Yeah, I hate him. He was gross. But
Why?
also,
That's mean.
no, walking with you with purpose. I'm so glad that she put, because sometimes when I've had paranormal experiences, I feel crazy and I question it and whatever. And I love that she put together that if you lit the cigarette, then it wasn't that long. So I'm not victim blaming you. You got Hat Manned, but yeah, hate him. Congratulations on getting
Oh.
your degree, though. I'm glad
Yeah.
you are a nurse now.
Fuck yeah.
That's very cool. Okay, love you. Bye. Should we solve the world's problems?
Yeah, I guess we got to do that too.
WWDD.
WWDD. Valerie says, "Hey, Katie and Dana, you ladies are the baddest bitches. Gotta say that hearing Katie giggle is the best sound. She never laughed enough on VPR. What do you think?"
Well,
Yeah. Quick question. I feel like I've heard you discuss baby reindeer on previous show, but can't seem to find it. Now that I've watched it, I'm dying to hear Dana's inside opinions again. Her insight is comedic gold. If I'm totally wrong, then forgive and forget. Have we talked about baby reindeer? I know you brought it up. I don't think I had watched it yet.
if we had discussed it, then yeah, it's very possible you hadn't watched it, but so you've watched it then.
Yeah, now I have. But I think at that point, like maybe you had just seen it or whatever. So I don't think we like really discussed it at all.
Yeah, in general, I think that it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Very scary when also I think that it was really beautifully done just about in general the abuse that he went through and kind of reconciling that. And sometimes when we're trying to heal from traumatic things, we do things that are outside of ourselves to like get back to center. And like I think there was a really crazy relationship between the fact that like obviously he did not want this attention. He wasn't asking for it, but there were elements of it that like brought him comfort or that he did relate to. That woman is a fucking loon, unfortunately,
Yeah.
and very, very scary. And do you believe, because since we discussed it, that woman went on Piers Morgan
Mm-hmm.
and obviously he went to great lengths to try and protect this person's identity.
Yes.
And people found like sleuthed and found it. Do you think that that was the real one? Like who it was based off of?
I mean, if she's going to expose herself that way, like who wants to be that person?
Well, and then she was like so accurate to the character. Like so I don't know if that was real or not, but I mean, I think Piers Morgan was very irresponsible on bringing her on the show.
Yeah, I mean, I think he still made distinct casting choices, perhaps,
Yeah.
you know, but I think, I mean, that, like I said, the woman was awful. The things that she did was awful. So, like, why would you want to claim any of that? Well, I mean, she's not well, obviously, but like, I don't know. But I think it's really scary stuff that happened. And I think, I mean, he was so great in it too. Like, he acted it really wonderfully. I think the stories that he told, and I think, I don't know, I thought it was like, I watched the whole thing in one sitting.
Yeah, I riveted. I box of Oreos that shit. Ate it, opened it, finished it in one sitting. I do love on TikTok the sound when it's like when your bestie won't respond back to you and you're like, baby reindeer, where are you right now? Blah blah blah. Like I'm so that way with Raleigh. If she's not answering me, I'm like, hello, baby reindeer. I see you're not at home. Where are you? I'm like,
oh God.
yeah, it's if you have not seen it, go back and watch it. It's
Mhm.
like one of the best miniseries I've ever seen, and very scary. And
But I mean, you can see how not easily it could happen, but just somebody who's maybe in a state of, vulnerability or something like that, and just, you just give someone a little inch or a little, and they take way more, and then it becomes a roll slippery slope.
well, that's the thing is like he was basically punished for showing kindness to someone, and it just
Mhm.
like but then he says like looking back, I knew that I shouldn't, that something was wrong, and that I should, like, he was blaming himself, which is obviously silly, but
Yeah.
anyway, great show, so well written, and a very interesting look at someone who's experienced traumatic abuse and like what that looks like, that healing
And
process. That's not linear.
and come out of it and wrote an amazing series and won a bunch of Emmys. Like, well done.
The TikTok sounds are gold.
Yeah.
That's really the only funny thing about it, because it's obviously like super sad and crazy story.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Jade says, hey girlies, I love the pod and both of you. I need some help with my current relationship. So here's the situation. We've been together for 7 years, not married, no kids. We met later in life. He's in his mid 40s and I'm in my late 30s. We get along great, barely ever fight, and we own a house and a small business together. Everything has been great until recently. I don't know what happened. It must have been slowly over time, but it just feels like we're roommates now, and that's it. We barely have sex, like literally, it's been a couple times in the past 6 months. I feel like there's no going back, and that sucks. I have been thinking about ending it, and I know it's going to break his heart and be super messy with the shared assets. I don't think this relationship is salvageable, at least not to me. I want to move on. How should I go about doing this? Should I just word vomit everything out and then there's no going back? Talk to a lawyer first? What would you do? Thanks so much. I enjoy y'all's podcast so much. I listen to every episode while I create art every week. Love that. You start.
Okay.
Seem like you have something to say.
Well, yeah, because I think I understand how things can get stagnant and you feel like, okay, we're just like roommates. We're just like, there's no intimacy or passion or spark or all that. Like, I think, when it comes to like love and relationships, it's a choice that you have to make daily, and you have to continue to choose that person. You have to continue to choose to love them. Like it's an action. It's not something that's just going to keep itself alive, if that makes sense. So I think obviously you should have a conversation that's not just like a one-sided thing of like, I'm over it. This is done. I understand like if that's genuinely how you feel after everything, but I think this person should still get to have their sides spoken. Their feelings should be taken into consideration. They might be feeling the same way. And they'd be like, yo, I'm so glad you said something because I feel the same way. Like, let's figure this out. But, this probably is going to blindside them and probably break their heart as well. So I think you need to, if you want to talk to a lawyer and find out what some options are just to get ahead of it, you absolutely can. But I think I would just say do what you can to try to salvage it. It might still be salvageable. Who knows? It might just be like a weird little rut that you're in, and you'll be really happy that you took the time and were a little patient with it. I would say do that.
I have a little bit of a different take, but kind of same, but different. So I think that to Katie's point, there's something to be said for having a conversation of opening that up, because at this point, it doesn't sound like that has been happening for a while and you guys have just gotten to this place and it hasn't really been a conversation. So you can definitely have a conversation, but also I think there's something to be said about if you know in your bones that it's over, then I also think that it's fair to go with that. You can have the conversation and say like, I'm really unhappy. I need things to change. And if they don't, then go from there. But if you feel it in your bones, then I also think that it's fair to go with what your instinct is. As far as how to go about it, I would be as direct as possible, as early as possible. You are not doing someone else a favor by, if this has bubbled up to this point and you cannot move forward, by putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And I think being direct is key. And who knows, maybe that's, you go into the conversation with that plan, but then it opens up other things and you guys end up, chatting through, or end up maybe deciding that you want to give it a shot before you just call it. But I think a conversation, whatever the context of the conversation is, needs to happen as soon as possible. I think that talking to a lawyer first isn't a bad idea if you do think it's going to get messy. I do want to put out there that I think that sometimes that can put someone on the defensive. So even if you talk to a lawyer, that's privately your business. I wouldn't bring that up in the conversation and say like, I've talked to a lawyer. It might might make your partner really panicky or feel hostile. So knowledge is power. There's nothing wrong with talking to a lawyer and getting that information for yourself. But I think that you guys need to talk as
Yeah, I
soon
mean,
as possible.
I
Just
just
be
think
direct.
you met later in life, you get along really great, you never fight. So just something like has changed or shifted. So I would maybe try to talk about like what that change has been before, before anything else. I would just open up that dialogue because it doesn't seem like there's some, I don't know. I'm curious, but I hope it works out either way.
Hope this helps. I bet your art's really pretty. So I hope you're making great art right now.
All right. So the next one, we're going to give a little trigger warning because there's mention of suicide. So if that's not something you want to listen to, just skip past it. All right. Anonymous says, hello, you intelligent, lovely, badass ladies. I could use some cool auntie advice. Are we cool aunties?
Absolutely.
Oh,
we are.
love it.
Total brand.
Okay. I have a daughter who's a freshman in high school. I myself did not go to high school. My parents joined a cult when I was about 10, and I was homeschooled from then through the rest of my school years. For reference, I was in the same cult the Duggars were part of. So yes, very whack. Ooh.
I want to
Rough.
also in the future, if you feel comfortable, please write in and tell us stories about that. Because
Yeah, if you have any cult stories,
if you have any cult stories, if you were a leader, if you were a follower, whatever, please write them in.
My partner also grew up in that environment. We left that lifestyle and extremist ideology as soon as we were on our own. All that to say, though, our two kids know we haven't experienced middle school and high school. I have no frame of reference for basic high school experiences, let alone the emotional weight of what so many of the kids carry now. My girl just told me about a third friend who was contemplating suicide. It was an instance that happened months ago. The friend was on a call with her while holding a gun to his head. Oh my God. She told me she called one of the crisis lines. We made sure our kids have those numbers on their phones. But I had no idea she'd been carrying that on her own. We talked some more, then she just shut down. She typically dodges conversations when feelings get really, really heavy. This time, though, there were no jokes. We just finished the ride home in silence, no anger or anything, just her feeling sad and me feeling like I effed up by talking too much. I didn't have a lot of emotional support growing up. It was kind of on me to emotionally support everyone else in the family. So, of course, I don't want my girl to feel that way. But I'm struggling with A, giving her the space she indicates she needs, and B, knowing when I might need to step in. I don't want to smother her. I don't want her to feel alone. I didn't mean for her to get this heavy. That conversation with my girl is just so fresh. My question really is this. Since both of you went to high school like normal people, what do I need to know? Seriously, even the most trivial advice would be most welcome. What kind of cool auntie advice would you have for a girl in high school today? Or for a mom who doesn't know what she doesn't know? Oh. I appreciate you both and your supporting team so much. Your conversations have filled a major girl talk void in my life because cult. I wish you both all the best. Oh my God.
I want to like hug her.
I know. I mean, it's just I'm just trying to like also put myself in her shoes of like having just zero experience with this. Like, I mean, this is a huge gap in life experience that like you just cannot ever get, not having like firsthand experiencing it. So I'm just trying to like imagine that perspective and just like really being so out of like your element and not knowing because yeah, it's tough.
Well, I also want to point out, don't be so hard on yourself
Yeah.
but although you're missing that time, we both had normal high school experiences and the game has changed so much. Like
yeah.
our nieces are both very, very young. So they're in their early journey with school. I'm scared about like what middle school and high school are going to be like. I mean, I think I've talked before in here that I had a really brutal middle school experience. So like now with technology and apps and different ways they connect and social media and how locked in kids are, I think it's honestly green territory for most parents and
Yeah.
most people who are trying to support kids in these unprecedented times. In addition to the world being, I think that most kids are more anxious than they were 20 years ago and more depressed and having more issues. So I think that this is unique territory for a lot of people. So you're not alone in that.
100%. Yeah. I mean, when I was in high school, I think MySpace like came about like the end of my senior year. So we had none of that growing up. But I mean, there was still like plenty of bullying and things like that. So I'm trying to think of like some of the advice that I got that was really helpful back then. And I don't even know if it would be applied to this day. So I'm.
Well, I would say you're doing the right things already because you're trying to be considerate of her feelings and not smothering her too much and finding that balance. I think what my mom always did for me, and it made a huge difference in my life, was knowing that there was always a safe space. I could literally talk to her about anything at any time. I never worried about like getting in trouble was always second if I like did something wrong or whatever, to knowing that I had that support. So I think just making sure that she knows, and it sounds like you're doing that you have, I want to check in with you. I want to give you space where you need it, but I also just need you to know that we always have an open line of communication. You are always supported. There's nothing you can't tell me.
Yeah, I know. And I know you would want to probably take any of the hurt or anything that she's having to carry on her own, because like you can't imagine her having to take that on her own, especially someone so young. So yeah, letting her know that you're there for anything that she needs to talk about. She's going to be free from judgment when it comes to you. And not that like this is something you would judge her for particularly, but I think that's the reason why a lot of kids don't share things, because they're worried about what someone's going to think of them.
Yeah. And I don't know what, from a resource perspective, what you can offer, but also even just maybe letting her know that like you can come to me, but if there's something that you're not comfortable with and we want to bring, someone else in terms of like a therapist or different people, that's an option. But then also I'm not sure how close you are to any of her friends' parents, but it might be nice also just to touch base with parents who are also going through this in real time and have kids in school in this environment.
Yeah, 100%.
If you can, and just kind of like create community around that.
Yeah.
Please send us your cold stories.
Love
Love you so much. Thanks.
you. Okay.
My turn?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Katie and Dana. I'm a huge fan of both Vanderpump Rules and Disrespectfully, and I cannot express enough how much I appreciate the perspectives that the two of you offer the world. I'm 22 years old, I know, a baby, and I've always struggled with body image, self-esteem, and self-worth. I'm currently in therapy and working on it slowly but surely, but I'm in this awkward limbo phase where I see the ways that this lack of self-respect manifests, but I'm not really quite able to stop myself from indulging in this comfortable routine. Sort of cognitive dissonance that's incredibly uncomfortable. I let the same shitty guys back into my life over and over again, struggle with feeling comfortable in my own skin, and feel insecure when my friends are able to do things that my lack of self-esteem prevents me from doing. In what ways have you both built your self-esteem and self-worth that allow you to live your life without constantly worrying about what other people think of you and fear of not being enough/loved? Thank you for any wisdom you can offer. All my love, Emma. Okay, Emma, I'm obsessed with you.
Yeah.
First of all, the fact that you're even so in tune with
And
yourself,
self-aware of this.
self-aware of these deficits, because honestly, I didn't even realize what a screaming mess I was until I was on the tail end of being a screaming mess. But like my journey was unique because my mom drilled into me all the time how special she thought I was and pretty and smart and how I could do everything and anything. And so I thought growing up that I had self-esteem, but then when she died, it went away. Like I just realized that I was bare bones of what someone should be. And so I really had to learn those skills, and I had to learn them through lots of trial and error. The amount of losers I have dated trying to recreate my childhood and have predictability and like attachment styles, it goes into all of that stuff. But like for me, it was a really conscious thing that took a super long time, and there's no one way to go about it. But I do think there was some faking it till I made it in times when, and even today, like we're both very confident people, but we also both have our moments. It's not like 100% linear, perfect science. It's not that I don't have moments of insecurity. It's about lying to myself about pushing through that until I feel good about it. But then also just like realizing that the opinion I care most about is my own, of myself. And if I'm waking up in the morning and I feel good about what I'm bringing to the world and who I am and what I'm doing and caring more about what's inside than out, then I'm doing pretty good. But some of it is just like growing up, right?
Yeah.
Like that's part of it. I don't know many people who were perfectly formed the second they were in their 20s.
I was going to say, it's definitely like life experiences and lessons that you're going to learn through friendships and relationships and how you deal with tough things, jobs, things like letdowns, heartbreaks, that is going to build your character. I think character plays into a lot of this as well. It's like all just woven into the fabric of who we are. Definitely faking it till you make it. I mean, I think also just like not looking for validation from anyone else but yourself. And that also just like a life experience thing, because it's just going to be time spent with yourself more and like really kind of like you, and you're, like I said, like your introspection on like who you are and like the things and how you view yourself is like you're well on your way.
Yeah.
So I think the more you learn about yourself and the more you develop your relationship with yourself, like the more you're going to develop that confidence and self-esteem, because it has to come from yourself. Like again, like I think without trying to get validation from friends or from men or from anyone else, and just like be able to fully validate yourself with that outlet. I don't know.
Yeah, I perhaps would have been able to get there sooner had I known it's, but your journey is your journey. But like just learning in life, all I care about is I don't seek validation externally at all. There's nothing,
It feels nice sometimes to be like, oh shit, oh, well, you agree with me. I am amazing.
obviously. Well, but also like the people that I did it. I'm guilty of this. I'm not projecting this on anyone else, but I was looking for it in men. And but this is before I decentered men and whatever. But I also have so many like incredible, strong, amazing women in my life that I should have been believing their perspective on who I was when I was looking for that validation, when I was having trouble doing it for myself. So it's also about like not only seeking internal validation, your own validation, but then like whose opinion are you really giving weight to?
Oh, totally.
Pay attention to that. But you're going to do great. And we love you so much.
Caroline says, hi, Katie and Dana. Sending all my love to you girlies from Boston. You make my morning commutes and hot girl walks so much more entertaining. Love a hot girl walk. Last night, I was fired from a job that wasn't the best fit for me, and I didn't see myself there long term anyway. But my manager at the time made things a lot worse / uncomfortable in the workplace because she singled me out amongst my peers a lot, spoke down to me like a child, and put me on performance improvement plan less than 3 months into the job, where I was basically fresh out of the training period. I maintain that this was because I am close friends with one of her only friends in the office, but I digress. 3 months later, I found a job that has been much better fit for me in all aspects, and I love going to every day. But I can't help but shake the feeling that I could get fired again. I literally have to repeat to myself, nobody's mad at you, you're not in trouble, like a mantra to get through the day. I've only received positive feedback from my current manager and colleagues, but I still feel like I could step on a landmine at any second. What would disrespectfully do? Kay, love you, bye. Take a breath. Literally take a breath. I mean, I understand, like I would be PTSD traumatized by somebody like breathing down my neck and like looking for fault in every single thing that I did, that like, but I think you're projecting a little bit. We do the same thing in relationships, like it's like you get out of one relationship where everything went wrong. There's cheating, there's lying, there's, fighting, there's this. And then you get into a new one and you just are waiting for all of those things to happen. And you're waiting for that person to be the last person, I think you got to like change your mindset.
Well, and also I give space for that. I was once fired from an important job that was unceremonious and honestly was bullshit. Whole other story for another day. But I definitely carried that with me. And I feel like any type of experience that you have that feels traumatic or is traumatic, you then are kind of looking over your shoulder. So it's just going to take time. And I mean, you just touched on it. I literally every day was like, everyone hates me. Like, it's just, I have to be proactive in undoing that in my brain and being like, is it possible that you're overthinking and projecting what you're afraid of? That's all that is. So you will get there, but try and take a breath and just remind yourself this isn't based in fact. This is just you trying to make something predictable so it feels less scary because you feel like it'll be less painful if you're blindsided.
Yeah.
But there's nothing to fear but fear itself. As Jason or whatever his fucking retinol needed guy, Freddie, told us. Hope that helps.
Hope it helps.
Lisa says, you're my best friends without even knowing it. I relate to you both in so many ways, it would take up pages of email. I feel like I don't relate to you or you'd even give me the time of day because I'm not super glamorous. I was amazing and hot in my own town way, but seeing you both, ugh, I don't even know. Okay, Lisa, I have to stop you right now. That's insane. What are you talking about? We would love you. No, you're hot. I'm 5'3" on a good day, weigh now 160, and I feel fat and gross. Before I was 135, always got compliments on my makeup. I've never been fashionable because I've had past trauma to where if I even got a little done up, I was accused of cheating. I was in this whole mentally abused situation. My now husband deserves the old me, but all I do is dress in jeans and t-shirts. I'm like you both. Korn, System of a Down, Placebo, that's my style of music. Dumb question. How do I dress more adult and not just t-shirts and Vans, but still be an adult? This is a long ass email, I know, but I'm sad. I used to be the girl that had awesome makeup, got compliments on my eyes all the time, and always have my nails done, and now I'm shit. I hate it. Okay, this makes me so sad. This entire
No.
email. I want to scoop you up and hug you so bad. Please stop being so hard on yourself.
know.
Oh my God. Like, and especially if you had someone, it sounds like an abusive relationship or someone, you know, it's mental warfare, right? Making them think that they're doing probably the thing that the
Yeah.
abuser is doing. So first of all, let's just clear that up. Half of this is mental. Like
Yes.
this is you thinking these things about yourself and projecting it. And when we have a negative talk track that we're stuck on, we then tend to operate in our day-to-day life based on that record. Like you have to scratch that. And even if you don't feel it right now, we were kind of just talking about it, tell yourself how hot you are every day and
Yeah.
how amazing you are and all of those things.
I've said this before and I heard it somewhere and it's so powerful. The things we say and speak to ourselves are spells. So why not say things that are powerful and meaningful and like that could be life-changing in really wonderful ways. So rather than saying things like, I feel fat, I feel gross, I'm disgusted, like change those things because you will believe those things more than you'll believe anything that anyone else tells you. You're going to believe them if you're constantly, if that is the feedback loop that you're listening to on repeat. So that's the first thing that absolutely needs to change.
And I'm not, we also just touched on this. I'm not perfect at this. I mean, you guys can hear it.
No,
throughout
but I've been there. I've done that. I understand. Like I had that. I own that.
Even well, I'm saying like,
playlist.
even today, like I have mostly good days, but I do this, and sometimes I catch myself talking to myself about myself, and I'm like, you would literally never say this about another living person. That's so crazy. And so
Mhm.
like, I think we are all guilty of that, but it's good to know it and like do our best to be proactive. And like you said, it spells.
Mhm.
Lie to yourself. But then also, I also wear a lot of t-shirts and I wear sneakers a lot. And I think that Katie Maloney has inspired me in a lot of ways to just wear more of what's in my closet and try and reinvent what I have and just even adding like one thing that can feel more elevated. I don't think there's any one way to do it, but I think it's always really important to me to incorporate in my style elements of like you said, like the music that inspires you and things that you like and being able to bring honestly things from when I was younger and just make them more mature and be able to keep that as a through line in how I express myself with fashion.
Hell yeah.
I don't
No,
know.
I think,
do you have
yeah.
anything else to add to that?
I think, yeah, without having to like completely like do a 180 on your like entire look or something. Like if you want to start playing up like your eyes, like maybe like just do like a little bit of like a liner situation.
Yeah.
Like just like, you know, start that way so you don't feel like you're having to like spend so much time or it feels like you're just like having to do a complete overhaul on your like makeup look or something. Just like do a little liner, a little wing, a little flick on the edge there, you know, and just like work your way back into it. And it'll make you feel better. And when you just take that like little extra time, it goes a long way, I think.
And also, babe, I wore leggings for 4 straight years. Like I get it. Like it does make a difference when you just even just changing up one thing slowly, like you said, it doesn't have to happen all at once, but like those little changes make it easier too when you're doing the new talk track of
Mhm.
how great you think you are.
Totally.
But we love you so much. I'm
Yeah.
sorry you're feeling this way. Hate that for you. All right. I think our work here is done.
We've solved all the problems.
How well we did with the work, we just don't know. I guess we'll find out when we hear this back. But
I hope this helps.
okay, love you. Bye.
I love you, bye.
Babe, you're gonna see the power of women. Like, disrespectfully.